Um, hey, Tengai, I cannot get people to hear me. Oh, May's working now? I don't know. I'm talking again. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Thank God. Okay, you guys can finally hear me. Thank fuck. um, my stream wasn't working. Hey,
Oh,
um, let me know if Tenkai's volume is good as well.
testing. How's this?
Flap, I don't think I have ads.
Can
There's
everyone
such a
hear me?
small. I can hear you. Can you guys hear Tenkai? Hopefully. Cool. I think they say it's fine. Cool. Also, welcome,
Perfect. Okay.
Acorn and Nifog and Flap. I almost said Nifog's real name by accident because of the Purdue League. Yeah, it would have been bad. Anyway.
Welcome one and all. Sorry I'm slightly late. There's a bunch of construction outside of my house.
Oh,
It took
damn.
me like 10 minutes just to get back here. Oh,
That's fine. It
terrible.
happens.
Hello everyone. Welcome one and all.
Yeah, welcome everyone. We are here. Our first division today will be Thunderclap, which I will be doing with Tenkai. Give me 1 second. I'm going to ping them. And if they complain about it, I don't give a shit.
That's what you get.
There we go. Is there people talking in general probably.
Woohoo!
I expect get Tiatus. Okay.
This is gonna be a spicy one.
This should be interesting. Yeah. Okay, let me pull this back up. Okay. So I guess if we just want to get started, we will get started on Thunderclap. Actually, let's give him like two.
All right.
Let's give him like 2 minutes to join the stream.
That's probably fair. Give everyone
Give it a
a
couple minutes
second
to
to
get
get on
in
board.
here.
This is an exciting one. I'll probably repeat this in a couple minutes once everyone is here, but I will say I thought Thunderclap across the board quite good.
Well,
I
I
thought there
generally
were
liked most of these drafts. Let me check my sheet real quick. My cheat sheet. There were like maybe two or
yes.
three I really didn't like. There were maybe like two I really didn't like. Better than that, I really liked a lot of them.
Yeah, I agree with that. My bottom two I wasn't a big fan of, but you did quite like one of them. So really, it's
Yeah, it's the
different.
same.
Everyone's
You didn't like some of my. You like some of my bomb ones. But that's okay.
it's
Hello,
why
Tep,
Pokemon is such a beautiful
Thundercrap
game.
Lol. Great comment, Tep. Thank you. Welcome. Your Smogon Usum Cup 2
Got him.
champion, everybody.
First for Magmar, we were okay.
First for Magma, right.
Magmar
Dashing, I cannot make any promises, but you might be riding.
Fun fact, Matt. Now this didn't factor into my decision at all because this has nothing to do with competitive. But Magmar is my least favorite Pokemon. So if
Ooh.
anything, I would put you further down.
Dashing is going to fucking kill you. He's going to drive to whatever state you live in. I don't remember if it's New York and kill you.
It is New York, yeah.
What the heck? Okay. This
Exactly,
big comments. I guess
exactly.
we can get started. So, welcome everyone to the
Everyone ready?
PRs. We'll start with Thunderclap. Let's get going. Yeah, I
Woo.
forgot to get the screen. So there's D. That should be. I'm stupid. It should be D2A because I am bad at. I am bad at things. I am bad at graphic making.
What are you
Apparently,
talking about? It was. What are you talking about? It was two A from the
None of you
beginning.
saw anything. You did not see anything. Let me check the R's real quick to make sure they're correct because I feel stupid now. You guys did not see anything. We are very professional here at BPL. We are very professional.
Absolutely. That's why we make tens of thousands of dollars per year.
Exactly. God, I wish that would make life so much easier. Anyway,
Yeah,
okay.
me too. And not a cent of it goes towards our taxes. I'll tell you that
Yeah,
much.
very professional. Much thank you, Gareth. So, our first coach will start in 16th. Is what did I just, oh wait, why did I do it? No, I didn't mean to pin that. No, unpin after how did I pin something? Second, how the fuck did I pin something? What the hell?
I hate when you just like fresh thing. Best professionally, yes, yeah,
I
correct,
didn't even, oh wait,
correct.
unpin this message. Thank God. Okay, I don't even know how I did that.
Nice.
Anyway, let's start
Best
on number
professional.
16. So we have Gryoin, and by the fact that you can see I have him 12, 10 guys at 15, you can tell these are going to be great power rankings. But anyway, we
Yeah,
both have him pretty low. I
not on the
guess.
same page.
Yeah, so that's good. Let's say, why is my notes? God, I am out of it today.
You wanna? I mean, so this one we should be on like most of the same page. So do you wanna go first or should I?
Sure. I guess I'll start with some positives about this. Oh, welcome, Frosty. I think I'll start with some positives. I do think this team has some really strong offense. I think Zapdos, Garchomp, Terra Prim, Mega Houndoom, like all really good, as is Metagross. Terra Celesteela,
Agreed.
which he got round 10, is really cool. I love that mon. I haven't used it with
That's
Terra,
fair.
but it seems really cool. Yeah, I don't know, and like the defense is like okay. Like Zapdos is decent, Chomp can be tanky, Prim can be tanky, Roselia is decent. Obviously, Selly can be fat as fuck if you want. I need to be careful not to
This does
ping. Yeah, but
it
like
does feel like kind of a you draft because Garchomp's your favorite
and
Pokemon, and
Roselia
Roselia is the
used to
Pokemon
be
I
my baby
associate with you the
back in the
most.
day, like Gen 7. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is
I
like
do think
mm,
I think the offense is really good here, to be honest with you. Terra Celesteela, I'm a big fan of actually, because first of all, like anything that gives you stab on Meteor Beam, I think is
true.
outstanding. But then also with the defensive sets, like this thing is a because steel flying steel is such a good type
But the fact
combo.
that we able to switch to
The
like
weakness
fairy or
is
whatever, or water or whatever is gross.
yeah, exactly. They're only two times weaknesses, and it has such good mixed bulk. Like the fact that you can just turn that off, that I think is phenomenal. Um, I think there were so kind of my main thing here is this. The reason I ranked it like this low was mostly speed. I think the fastest Pokemon being 115 is not great. That Pokemon being a Mega, so it can't run Scarf,
Yeah.
I'm really not a fan of that, and it just feels like very slow outside of it.
That was
There's like
my biggest critique
okay
as well, was the lack of speed in the passes mom not being a scarf. Yeah.
there's like okay priority, like Metagross Bullet Punch is pretty
And
good,
he's got like
and then
Hitmonchan,
Hitmonchan and
Abomasnow,
Bombstorm.
Megadoom, Sucker. Like it's
Yeah,
okay.
they're serviceable. Oh yeah, Sucker Punch on
I do
Houndoom
agree
too.
there's a lack of speed control on this team though. Like outside like Stag
Yeah,
Zapdos, maybe like Stun Spore Roselia. Like there you will be going second a lot, which is not where you want to be.
yes. I also I like the hazards of this team a lot. I kind of wish there was a ghost to back that up. That's not a huge deal because you do have you have the two tears obviously. But then the more important thing with the hazards is like without the speed to kind of clean through with that, uh, that just doesn't mean quite as much to me, unfortunately. I also do think the in an in a hidden power metagame, this feels not electric weak, but this kind of feels like the sort of draft where like Chomp is gonna get lured into HP Ice once and take like 80, and then you're kind of just getting volt switched on like forever.
It's
You know what I
for
mean?
sure,
Because
especially with
the only electric resist are like
Roselia.
Roselia and Bombstar are like good, but they're
They're
not. They
fine.
can't like come.
They aren't coming every game. Yeah, exactly. Use some Cocoa Farms everything tab. Thank you. That mod is broken and would not be legal if it was the current generation. That's my hot take. Anyway, another thing I noticed is that ghosts kind of steamroll this because your ghost is just like a Houndoom. It's weak to rocks and takes spikes and like gets
Yeah,
truly killed by
dude.
Shadow Ball probably after that. And sure, it gets Sucker and
Like I
Pursuit,
kind
but
of
like I don't know. I
because it's one of those things where, like you can look at teams like this and be like, Halt just goes in here, but it's like Paul kind of goes in on everything, but I feel you look at something like Gengar, it feels incredibly scary
yeah,
here. Like Golden Go even feels like Golden Go feels not only hard to switch into, but also like if
hard.
Chomp's not in a good position, a little hard to revenge too, which is kind
I
of
mean, you have
crazy.
Doom for that, but yeah, Golden Ghost. I think Ghost and Joe are just a bit of a rough matchup here. Was I'm trying to think. I was gonna say Annihilate is another ghost that looks really difficult for his team to build with, deal with.
Annihilate goes crazy.
Yeah, because they just spams Rage Fist into this so easily, and like you can't kill it in one hit. I don't know if it was even drafted sufficiently look, but again, that's just
I
like
don't know if it was.
let me pull up the where we pull up the doc
Let
real
me
quick for
take a look.
Thunderclap.
Ape was not drafted, so
Oh,
but
that's lucky
but
for
it
you.
could. With that said, I still feel relatively positively about it. I think the defensive core is so aggravating while also still being, because being relatively offensive too. And Terra Celesteela, I think, is really, really exciting, and it was so late in the
Yeah.
draft. Like, that's
Yeah,
outstanding.
I will say, welcome, Gray. You just joined us expecting to see the last place for me. God to love to expectations. I mean, I didn't think your team was like a last place quality team. It's just because of the way the rankings worked out. Like, I still think your team is usable, and honestly, it's a lot better than last season's team. Last season's team was whack. But like,
So it's all about improvement, you know?
yeah, I mean, but last season's team was really weird. Although you drafted the Hitmonchan again, which I'm very surprised about, but I do really like the team.
Hey, it's knock now.
That's
MSD,
no
that's a
like,
good
yo,
mod.
I have a real team. That's so true. Yeah, you don't have like six
That's
unmons like freaking Lapras like you did last time.
that's the thing. Like anything else about it, and like the placement or anything aside, this is definitely a real team. Like I look
For
at this and I'm
sure.
like, yeah, that's a draft right there.
Big Wob did put in work last season. You
Oh,
are right.
wow.
Hey,
But
yeah,
yeah, I think we're pretty on
yeah,
the same
that's
page here.
Bryce. So
Electric
let's move on to number
Electric Week,
15.
Ghost Week, bad speed tiers, but you know what? Still pretty serviceable.
Yeah, just gotta find a ways around the really fast threats that are gonna hit you really hard. But I'm sure you can do that. Terminus, yeah. Is 6 or 7 out? Yeah, no. Thunderclap had a lot of really good teams, in my opinion, this season. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the drafts for Thunderclap were excellent across the board.
Yeah. And let's move on to number 15. We have Ethan, who is a really weird team to me. And I can't believe I'm putting a team of Terra Greninja and Terrapagos in my last place because I think both those mons are broken. But I guess
I
why don't you
so
get
can I
started since you had a bit higher than me I did?
Yeah, so basically the note that I had for Ethan, which is like I'm gonna read my note verbatim. The first sentence I have written for Ethan, and I quote, "I'm not really seeing the synergy here, but it's such a collection of individually good Pokemon that I'm kind of here for it." And I stand by that. Like I kind of look at these guys, and I'm not really seeing like how they go together, but I like them individually. So like I do kind of see the vision a little bit. Like
I just want to
Peregrine
mention
Ninja,
Frosty
obviously
said both.
insane.
I hate Houndoom because both bomb teams have a Houndoom. I do not hate Houndoom. Those are allegations are false. She will not cancel me over it. Anyway, continue what you were saying. Sorry.
Uh, like, Petra is still even though people are catching on to it a little bit now, I still think that Mon's very underrated. And with Terra, like, it's so aggravating. I don't fully know what Arch is doing here, but like, even I
It's
think that's
fine.
just like,
Arch is a good
that
mon.
Mon
It's
just
just
has
a
like
good mon.
numbers.
It's just a good mon.
Yeah, it just has like the numbers to always be solid. And the one big thing here is this, like, so Surfetch is kind of whatever, but in just Surf and Terrapagos, you have like such good removal for Pinsir, and I kind of like I actually like Pinsir here quite a bit because this is kind of a fighting weak team. If anything either happens to Petrum or like has to Terra out of being a fighting immunity, so like I really like the Mega Pinsir here. I've been very like up and down in that mon over the years, but I think this is one of my favorite like places that I've seen it. To be honest with you,
There's
and
definitely a
like
good pincer
you have
composition for
Wish
sure.
for Arch, like yeah, like you've got one of the four good spinners in the game, so you can keep
Yeah.
spikes up with Gastro, and still get Pinsir on the field safely. Terra Greninja, like you said, is insane. Like I'm kind of it feels very like mismatched, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't this,
I
this I don't mean this in like actually a bad way at all. It feels a little almost like randomly generated, but
Honestly,
like
that
it
kind of
generated
leads into my
good
critique a
hope.
little bit, which I think he went quantity over quality here. I really think if you just combine Houndoom,
Agreed.
Golem, into Surfish into like one really solid Mon, this team would be so much better. Like just something else to
Oh,
round it
that
out. I'm
I
not sure
agree. I
exactly
agree with that.
what, but something to round it out. I mean, probably like a solid second flying type, honestly, or Levitator is what I would probably go with because this team is really ground weak. Like because every ground type in the freaking game gets
Yeah.
rock moves, and so you have Serp and then Pinsir. If they call it a Pinsir switch, you die, which is not good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's kind of
Agreed. That was another
rankings.
thing I.
Yeah, ice.
Sorry, what were you saying?
Ice is another huge issue. Like I don't know what you're doing about that. You're resist to Houndoom, which is not a Pokemon. I do not hate Houndoom, but he's not a Pokemon. Let me specify.
I actually was thinking the same thing. Like because of kind of the like slap together nature of it, some massive type weaknesses. Um, Ice like there's kind of no ice switch in.
It's Gren,
Because the
which is
thing is,
Gren and
Terra
Doom.
doesn't even really get you out of it. Because Terra doesn't even get you out of it that much. Because most ice moves coming out are like gonna be special the majority of the time. Petra like doesn't even take ice like unless you Terra Steel and you're like full Spadef,
You also
which
just don't
comes with
want
its
to be
own.
tearing your Petron that often because Terra Gren's so insane. You want to be tearing that as
Yeah,
many matches as possible.
yeah.
Um,
And not only that, but I think with this team, unless you're running a lot of boots, this is like because it's so ground weak, right? You really appreciate T spikes getting soaked up.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I do think what was our one? Kind of very little momentum on this team, surprisingly. Which is something I don't say much in Gen 9 because every Mon gets it nowadays. But like outside like Gren and Sylveon, you don't really have a great ways to get in your Arch or your Pinsir to break, which is not like or your Terrapagos to
Yeah,
just
it's
quick
like you've got
Snarl.
Gren's. Oh wait, you've got Gren, Sylveon, and then you have like Petra and Parting
Oh
Shot,
yeah,
and
Petron is yes. No,
technically
I forgot about Parting Shot. That helps a lot
you have
actually.
Volt Switch and Golem, but let's be serious here.
They realized they couldn't take steals, kill steals, and took Houndoom and Golem. I mean, I can see that. Honestly, see that.
I mean, you know what? I guess if there were ever a team where you needed Golem, this would be the
Yeah,
team.
this team's also kind of very specially offensive in my opinion. Like outside SD, Gren, and Pinsir, your offense is very special. So, and your opponents can throw on AVs pretty freely because you don't have amazing knockoff mons. So that could be kind of an issue, like slowing down your offense that way.
That's a very good point. You don't really have anything that's because Surf Fetch isn't going to come every game, and
It
Surf,
shouldn't come
like
ever.
it's not a
Surface is
strong
terrible.
knockoff. I think it gets a little bit, even though it is mostly special attackers, because you can like tech on like physical sets for Petron, and our Childon gets around it a little bit because of body press, but no, it is generally like very, very specially offensive.
Yeah. Yeah, Tab, they didn't give
It
Gren
is.
knock in Gen 9, which is kind of crazy because look at those hands. But yeah.
I'm getting slapped by one of those mitts. And it
Yeah.
is kind of crazy they didn't give Gren knockoff, but why?
Another reminder I had was this team has no Encore, which I think is the best move in the game this gen. But like, you have Terrapagos and Glare Serp as like your emergency buttons, so I don't think it's as big a deal as it could be on other teams. I mean, I like this team. I know I played it last, but overall I do like this team. It's just like I like the other teams
Mhm.
more. Like this is a
No, I
solid
can see
team.
that. I would say
There's
through the
8 really really good mons on here.
that's the thing. It's like I definitely agree. There are like a lot of there are structural issues here, but I think it's a collection of scary enough Pokemon that you can kind of get around that a little bit because all the weaknesses are there. But then on the other hand, like you have spikes in a Terra Gren,
Yeah, exactly. Like, I still think like it's a good team. Like objectively, it's a good team.
I think maybe you could use with a little free agency to maybe swap out some of those lower tier mons and try to get an ice resist. But
Yo would fit really well here. Rotom Heat. I don't know if it's
is
available,
that
but Rotom Heat would fit. I don't actually. I
Rotom
don't even
Heat would be
those. I don't
crazy.
even know if those free add up to Rotom Heat's cost. I have no idea, but probably not. But
I think
whatever.
Hariyama might go kind of crazy here,
Ooh,
actually.
actually like Hariyama a lot. I mean, it still kind of uses the ground weakness, but Hariyama is not a bad pickup for this team at all. Yeah.
Got a nice little ice weakness in there. I think honestly fixing the ice weakness is probably the bigger priority in my
Yeah, that's
opinion.
true.
Because ground you at least have like something, you
Yeah,
know?
but yeah, like even though it's 15th, it's a solid team. Like as I said, every team in this division is not bad.
Agreed, agreed.
Hey, let's
All
move
right.
on to
And there's
14th.
Ethan.
We have DJ Black
Number
in 14th, who I had in
14.
10th, and Tenkai in 13th. So we both had him relatively middle. I mean, you had him more further down than I did, but I guess I'll
Yeah,
start with what I really
this I
liked
think
about.
might have been. So I think this might have been the last team I ranked. Actually, I had a hard time with this one, but yeah. What did you think? What did you think about DJ
Um,
Black's team?
I do really like most of it. I think it's a. I really like the synergy between Urshifu and Ironmoth. I think they
Hmm.
pair really well together. I think there's a lot of good utility on this team. Mega Sceptile is a really nice pickup here. I really think it fits the team really well. Um, I know I just generally like this team a lot. It had a lot of positives
Hold
to
on.
me.
Hold on. Agreed.
Oh, this is the team that sniped Kamala. Oh my god. That is the sentence I never thought I'd heard. There's so many birds on this team. That's very true. There's
The
Empoleon
first
and
Kamala
Bulwark.
snipe in history.
Yeah. Round 7 Swirlix. Yes, there's a round 7 Swirlix. I checked to see if that was from FA. It was not, which is why I was very confused.
I think that might also be the first. That might also be a history first. The round 7 Swirlix.
I mean, like, I kind of get, like, if everyone else had Megas, you could wait on Sceptile. Like, and stuff like that, but I know it might be a bit early. But yeah, I really like this team generally. My only real issue is, like, I wish it had spikes because Iron Moth loves spike support. It really does.
Yep.
And, like, physical fires, like, say, Cinderace, you do not deal with well at all. Like, physical fires kind of. As long as they can chip down Lando, there's not much you can do about it. I know, like, I like it. Especially honestly, it feels a little underwhelming in some regards. Like, outside the top 2, you don't have much breaking. I guess Lando can break, but, like, I like the team. I think it's pretty good. Okay. Why do you have it so low?
That was kind of
not accusatory. It's like,
so I had a hard. Explain yourself.
Yeah, explain yourself now.
So I had a hard time with this one, like I said, because I think, like you said, my main thing is, in a hard way to quantify, I think it does feel like just a little like underwhelming somehow. Not bad, just like a little like limp almost. My main thing that I struggled with is I think the top 2, not just as Pokemon, but specifically as Terracap, are so unbelievably good. Like, I think prepping for this team, like 90% of the stress is going to come from those 2 alone, which I think is insane value because, like, they're not even that expensive, which I think is amazing. Couple problems I have. One after that, like, these are like nothing below Landers is bad, but I just feel like the threat level like drops kind of significantly. You know what I mean? I think my main thing here is that this isn't like, so this is not like a hyper like offensive team. You have the 2 obvious like nukes in the beginning, right? Yeah. And those can win very quickly. And like you said, like Landers stop essentially is breaking power too. But you know, there's not like a ton of everything else didn't just like steamroll through anything on this draft, right? But that's kind of where my fundamental problem comes in, which is despite that, this is a lot of blanket checks, right? There's a lot of the bulk on this team is like kind of fake, not in the sense that they're bad Pokemon, but like Lando and Polion and Tink, and then to an extent, Cofagrigus are kind of holding everything together. Sorry, what was that?
I was saying Kovac. Yeah, I agree. They are.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, so like Lando, Polion, and Tank, and then to a lesser extent, Cofagrigus. It's still a good Pokemon, obviously. They're kind of like fake bulky in the sense that they like their stats aren't actually that good, and 3 of them don't really get recovery. So you're kind of depending on blanket checking things with typing, but they don't have a lot of sustain. And if you, like you said, with the physical fire types, if you run into a matchup like that where they just like happen to have the like key to the lock, I think this might fall apart kind of quickly. Defensively.
Yeah, well, Lando's stats are fine. It's just like, I agree with what Tank means in that, like, it is very prone to being worn down. It's like, if you invest it to be really fat, sure, it can do it. Like, you don't want to invest Lando to be really fat every matchup. So that's I mean, yes, Lando's stats are like fine,
and
but
like
honestly, they
doesn't
have
have
kind
recovery,
of been
and like it's working with a lot of like 80s and 90s is the thing, which aren't bad, but like if that's kind of the key to your defensive backbone.
I'm being silly. I also agree.
Sorry, I didn't mean that to be accused.
I love that. It's all good. You know, like, I know I like this team. I might put it a little high.
It's all good.
I don't get the Butterfree. I will say that.
You have me think I might have put it a little low.
Like the Swirlix, I get it because it's Webs, even though it's team. I guess Shifu kind of likes Webs. I guess actually no, this is a good Webs team now. I think about it, but like I don't get the Butterfree pick.
I was gonna say I really get the Butterfree pick either. I mean, I guess it's like fine.
I know it's a 1 pointer. It
it's just kind of there.
It's a 1 pointer. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's honestly one of the better 1 pointers.
Yeah,
there are some teams that put webs on them, and you just kind of don't like. They grab like a 1 point Weber, and you just don't see why. This one,
it
I
makes
really
sense
see
here.
why, and
It
I
makes
actually
sense
think
here.
Swirl. Yeah, I think Swirlix probably will wind up coming at some point. So yeah, pretty
Urshifu,
good.
Moth, Lando,
I
all
think
love
maybe I'm gonna rank
webs.
this one.
Even like SD Tank
Yep.
can be really strong under webs.
Oh, agreed. Even like Empoleon too. You know, like because
Empoleon is not weak.
some drafts just like don't. Yeah, some drafts just like don't handle strong waters very well.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's been a principle since Gen 1. It's hard to switch into Hydro Pump. So yeah, I think maybe I underrated this one a little bit. This was hard to rank, but I like it. The
This
top
is
two
just
were
a
just
really
so good.
odd team, which is why it's kind of hard to rank. I think so.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, onwards number 13, we do have T Wolf, who I had at 11th and Tank I had 9th. So even though he's 13th, we both have him kind of middle of the pack. And obviously,
We were pretty united on this one.
Yeah, we both agreed as like a
What
pretty.
what did you think about what? Pretty good. Pretty like
overall, I really like it.
Yeah, what did you think of T Wolf?
I really like the top three as a core. I think they work obviously a region core, but also Gloking plus backs. Gloking provides so much to this team. It's not even funny. I don't know. I think most of the mons are pretty good. I wish Sandslash and Mabosstiff were not Sandslash and Mabosstiff, I guess. If you know what I'm trying to say. Like, I wish the ground and the dark were a little more bringable to games.
I do too. I do think that as far as those low tier budget picks that technically have a lot of utility, but still aren't that good go, I think Sans.
Oh, yeah. You were saying? Oh, you cut out?
But I agree that there was a more kind of splashable ground. Hold on, reloading players. Sorry.
You were probably you cut out for a second there.
Oh, dang! I hate when that happens.
Yeah, but oh yeah, you are staticking like crazy, my friend.
I think Sandslash is one of the more bringable ones out of those. You know, like low tier,
just doesn't want to come often, but it's bringable.
I think like you said, this is like one of the best Gloking picks I've ever seen. I think
it fits so well here.
Honestly, I really like it. It does. What's funny is like my one actual kind of issue here is like oh god, did I cut out that bad?
No,
you hate to see it.
A little.
Damn it. It's gonna be on the internet forever now. Oh, no, I'm just playing. Funnily enough, my one kind of issue is that I feel like weird issue outside of backs. I feel like the damage output is just kind of low overall. Not including like Mienshao really, but it's I can weirdly kind of see situations
hard, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I can just like kind of see situations where if there's something that walls backs effectively, which to be fair, like not a lot of things do.
But there are things.
Yeah, if you get into one of those situations, or if like backs just like goes down early or something like that, I can see you struggling to just take things out. But like beyond that, I think this is just good. It's like very, very momentum heavy, which I think we can all agree is very good in Gen 9.
Yeah.
I think I like the hazard removal here a lot because it's very solid and there's a lot of options.
Opens up backs
because like you know
really appreciated and Torn.
Yeah, like backs and Torn are pretty comfortable running boots a lot, but like if you cannot do that, yeah, exactly.
Like, if you cannot do that, it opens up a lot of potential for them.
Agreed. I also think Bronzong is like deceptively a very good Terra captain. Like obviously anything with Levitate is going to be good because you can retain an immunity. But I think it's cool, like just like nice. I find that like mixed bulk Pokemon tend to be very good with Terra. So I think this is great.
I think it's really interesting because we did not actually give attacks on Zong, so I'm curious to see if it does anything.
Me too. It's one of those things where you don't set out to Terra it, but I think you just kind of like pick it up. Like there's a lot of potential here.
For sure. I do like seeing a lot. Like outside of the Mabasta pick, I really like it. That's why I in the middle. I don't think it's amazing or anything, but I do really like this team.
I wish Mabostif was good. I hope we get a good stakeout mom one of these days.
My boy Feeble, I have 4 kills within the league right now in 3 weeks, but it is also
Dude,
all
that's
shit
awesome.
is also all shit mons, so it's less impressive than it sounds.
Fair enough. I get that it's a hard ability to balance because,
It
like, if
really
it's
is.
too good
Stakeout's
to force
insane
runes, but
ability, but
yeah.
yeah, but yeah,
Any,
pretty good team.
anyway, good
Pretty
draft.
good team. On number 12, we have Corey, and this is the first one we had a big disagreement. I did not like this team, and Tank I really
Ooh.
did. So why don't you go into why you like this team so much?
So this is like obviously very, very offensive. I just think it's very effective at that. It's very fast. It's very pivot heavy. It's very good at keeping hazards up. I think Crown here is so inspired. Not just with the electric terrain synergy, obviously, but I think Future Sight with the 2 offensive darks here, that's crazy. I think that's
I did not think
insane.
of that. That's a really good thing, yeah.
Right? I think that's awesome. I don't even have that much to say about it honestly because I think it's like kind of a simple draft, but not in a bad way at all. Just like it's quick, offensive. I think it's gonna like win or lose games very quickly.
That's true.
I see it winning a lot of them. And I think Vulpix, like honestly, great 1 pointer because there are probably just going to be matchups where like you don't really need a 6, just give Roaring Moon Sun.
And you can
Now
like run,
that's
you can also just click Memento and then gain Roaring Moon and DD in the sun. Well, what the hell deals with that?
yeah, 100%. Like I think
That's
Vulpix is like
its best
very
role
workable here.
is to come in, set sun, and die, which is fair enough.
Exactly. Definitely like very offensive, but you have Dirge right there, which funnily enough, Septa, I'll get to that in a second. But I think even though it's offensive, you have enough things here that like for a very offensive draft like this, you have enough things that can run bulkier sets. Like if you like, because like ignoring Dirge for a sec, because that's like the one like pure defensive mon here outside of
I
Golbat.
mean, you have Motom, you have
Because
like
like
Coco, which can run roost fatter sets.
yeah, same thing with Moon. You can run like Avian Crown, Avian Samurai. Like I think there's like enough workable defense here. Um, I was Dirge is a little bit iffy. I think it's like it stands out as a little bit passive here, but Terra Dirge is just so good, and
I
I
think
think
it
there is
fits.
something to this. Like I agree. I think honestly, I think having an unaware mount in the back for a team that's this offensive, not bad at all. And the thing with Dirge, like it's a little slower pace than anything else here, but because of Torch Song, it doesn't really give up momentum. So
Exactly.
I think this is great, honestly. Like obviously, like I said, like very offensive. If you lose a key piece with this early on, yeah, the whole thing like can fall apart. But like it's so offensively sound. Like I, I, I think it's going to be easy to not fall apart with
That's
this.
fair. Looking at your reasoning, I definitely underrated this a bit. I don't know, like I do like the team a lot. I really like the synergies here. I don't know. Honestly, thinking I probably should have put it this low. One like I don't know, there was some minor things like I kind of think could have improved. I really wish this team had a spinner, just because like defog is your only removal alongside Samurai is kind of rough, and especially when you have
That's
a mod
true.
like Dirge that once it gets knocked, it really doesn't like rocks. But other than that, I don't know. I definitely underrated this team. I'm not sure.
No,
Honestly,
I
reading
think
my notes, so all these aren't even good notes. I don't even know why I rolled it. Whatever.
no,
Yeah,
I think
I
that's very
underrated
fair.
this.
Honestly, like that is one thing I would kind of love a spinner on this team, because spin just gives up less momentum than defog because you're like gaining something for it.
Yeah,
Um, but I think also with something like this, you can get around that a little bit because it's hard to get hazards up if you're just like being attacked constantly.
for sure. And another thing I noticed kind of, I feel like Mamo is going to be forced into a sash lead role a lot on this team. I don't think it can really afford to run Bandit or Scarf as much, just based on their pieces here. But that's like kind of a minor critique. In hindsight, I definitely should have put this higher. Like there are some minor things I would have done a bit better. I think could have been done a bit better, but it's a really good team for sure.
I didn't think that's a very valid critique though, because like you don't really have the backbone to like switch in, fire off a choice attack, and switch back out. Nobody's dice. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, it happens. Like, I mean, not happens. It's a solid team. Trailblaze Dice. That is a set that I have not seen before. I have not seen Dice Mammo, but that's a cool idea.
But I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, I don't know. Pretty good team. I definitely think the top 5 especially flow really, really well.
Agreed.
Even though I think Conk is a little unproven this gen, but I think it fits here well as well. Especially with being able to get in with your pivots is really nice.
Ditto would be really cool on this team.
Ditto
honestly.
on this team would be hilarious and actually would fit really freaking well.
I'm a fan of that.
I'm normally not a Ditto promoter, but it does fit really well here over like the Golbat Vulpix at the end.
It's like offensive enough that I think Ditto is. This is like a Ditto team.
This is definitely a Ditto team. Yeah, on to I guess number 11. We have Polka.
Number 11.
We kind of the opposite where I had him really high and Tank I am really low. So I guess I'll go into why I really like this team. It's like
this is a massive gap.
Yeah, this one we really agree on why I really like this team. So I mean, the Mon quality generally feels pretty good. I think everything on here is bringable to games. Even Shellman, I've seen do things before. I really like the synergy. I think Tusk Spin is really nice to keep Reserve Ogerpon sturdy and to let Sneasel and Zard come in repeatedly. You got good breaking with Tusk, Go and Go, Zard, even Cornerstone if the opposing rock resists aren't great. And you have good utility. I mean, you have good utility with like obviously Tusk, but you also have the rocks on Keko which come up, spikes on Ogerpon. Togekiss is a great defogger as well. I don't know. I really like this team. Good speed control with T-Wave. A bunch of T-Wave mons as well. I see. Triple Evolution, just Kekuan. I get it. I did not figure that out for a minute. I see what you're saying. Kekuan.
Nice.
I don't know. I just really like this team. I think every mon has its place. I think this, it just has good offense, good defense. I really like it. The one thing I would say is some of the mons feel a little power crept this gen. Like Vaporeon isn't. Vaporeon isn't as good as it used to be, nor is like Kekuan or Shelmet, but I still think they all have their places. I mean, Shelmet's a little worse when you have the Great Dusk, which is like probably the thing it checks the best, but
I think that's extremely fair. It was tough because again, I thought Thunderclap was really good. And I don't think this draft is bad. It was kind of just like I had to put something at the bottom.
Every draft was good. Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason I wound up putting this one in 16th was almost all, like you said, pretty much every mon here is like bringable, right? But I feel like on the flip side, there are kind of only 4 because of power creep. I feel like there are really only 4 that like if I was building against this, I would be like truly like afraid of, right? Because that doesn't mean they're bad. Like Togekiss, Jolteon, given that there's hidden power, Vaporeon, like they're good Pokemon, but like they feel like Pokemon that at this point, good building will usually give you the tools to deal with. You know what I mean? Whereas I feel like there's only like it's the top 3 and then Zardex. You feel like truly like threatening. What kind of impacted my decision to put it at the bottom? I just feel like the resources were mismanaged a little bit. I don't know. Golden Go's like, it's like a good mon, but I feel like there's not really enough of the hazard focus here to like demand it. And I just feel like a lot of points have been spent on tearing Tusk and Golden Go, which I just feel like
I don't think is good. I mean, I think it's good, but I don't think it's worth it.
That's kind of my main issue here. I just don't really think Tusk or Golden Go need Terra, and I think a lot of points have been spent on giving them Terra that I just think could have been utilized better in other areas. Like these are 2 Pokemon where like their base typing is kind of a huge part of them, and not that like they can't take advantage of Terra. They both benefit from like the offensive Terras, obviously. Terra like flying Golden Go is pretty proven, so I don't think it's bad. Like that's the whole thing. I don't think this draft is bad. I just found it like I kind of look at it and I'm just not really like afraid of anything, and I feel like the resources could have been managed a little better. So that was why I put it in last. But again, like not bad, just like something had to go in 16.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is the way it is. I think again, every team is. I know we keep saying like, God, this division did a good job drafting.
Yeah, I will say real quick because I just realized I didn't go into any positives. I like you said, Tusk is like such a reliable spinner. That with Zardex and Cornerstone, I think is phenomenal. Like this will probably get if you can keep rocks off, this should actually get like a good amount of use out of Sturdy.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
Um,
did I just echo?
I did hear. Sorry, I was just pausing for a sec
That's
while
right. Okay,
you
just want to make sure.
to see what you were saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
all good.
Yep. Yeah, I guess.
And on top of that, like good momentum. Honestly,
Oh,
like I
for
think you
sure.
can.
A lot of momentum on this team.
Yeah. So again, I think it's solid. I like it. Just there's some like fundamental issues I have with it,
That's fair.
and I have to put something in the bottom.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah. Also for the record, yeah, Septile. If rocks do go up, then yeah, this struggles quite a bit.
I think he was talking about the Shelmet calc in the chat, but fair enough.
Oh, that's okay. That's.
They're
but
talking
I
about for
stand
some
by
reason,
that.
yeah. Anyway, let's go on to 10th place.
Let them cook.
We do have Dashing himself, and we both had him primo. I am 8th, you had him 10th. So we both had him like rare.
Dashing.
Yeah, so let's start off with the positives as always. There's the offense here. Wop, Polt, Mel Metal, Fundy. My God. Wop, and the defense is pretty good too. Like Milo, Tinglu, Melmetal. Dashing, I beg of you, please do not run Flame or Milo. That set is terrible. I beg you to not do it. Please, that set is
I will say I woke up this morning and like looked over my notes again. If there was any draft that I wish I'd moved up a little, like it is definitely this one. I feel like in just a couple slots, the offense and defense here, because yeah, there's not like the defense isn't that spread out, but like in just Tinglu, Milo, Melmetal, and then with Aromatease for Wish, like that's crazy. That's gonna be so annoying to break through. And then you have fucking Pult and Lopunny with Tinglu Spike supporting it. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, Zane, you're commenting on the 81 to 45 speed drop. I think the more important was the 135 to 111 speed drop. That's just me. And also the 111 to 93 is also the 111 to 93 is also kind of a rough one. But like,
yeah, some rough speed tiers.
Like overall, I think those are kind of one of my big critiques. Another kind of thing is that your only removal is Defog Fundy, which means that if your opponent's a dark type, so not only is your own team kind of weak to hazards because Lop can't run boots, so spikes really hurt. If you do run the stupid Flame or Milo, hazards destroy that. If you want Magmar to do things, you need to weed it or get it in without the rocks up. Like it's just rough. And also grounds kind of murk you. Like a really strong ground kind of murks you. I'm trying to think of one. I think like Headlong Rush from Tusk. Like you are not switching into that, for example. Milo
Tusk goes fucking crazy here, especially with spikes up.
But really,
I think the lack of the hazards is definitely my biggest thing too. Just because like Lopunny can't run boots, and honestly, a lot of stuff here doesn't want to run boots. Like Pult's pretty okay with them, but like Tinglu gets kind of worn down by spikes. Like Melmetal doesn't want to run boots. Like
for sure, opposing spikes.
Yeah. I also like this is much less of a real thing. Just like I wanted to point out, I don't fully see the value of a charge bug here, because like there's not a lot here that takes advantage of webs
like at all, like at all.
But I'm kind of seeing charge bug as like kind of the mascot anyway. He's a cute little bus, so that's fine.
That's fair,
yeah, it's a bus exactly.
I love the bus. I love the bus. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I think some structural flaws, but I think like the strong points of this team are insanely strong.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think the low points are that problematic here. Like there are some issues.
I fully agree.
This team is really, really good. And that's why both I like towards the middle because it's just like it's solid. Like he does what he needs to do.
Because I think anything else aside, like having to break through Tinglu Milo and then survive getting hit by Terra Melmetal, and then in the back you have Pult and Megalopony to clean. Like it's just good. Like that's just good.
Yeah, I agree absolutely. I absolutely agree on that. Yeah.
Number 9.
Yep, 1 second.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, basically, Jay, basically.
Just give me one moment. I am doing something in the background to get ready for something later, but anyway. Let me guess off.
Don't take your time, take your time.
Number 9.
All right, we didn't say anything about Magmar. Honestly, I'm here for Terra Magmar.
Good. I didn't say anything about Magmar. What needs to be said about Magmar?
What does need to be said?
What needs to be said about Magmar? It went 10-0 last season. There's nothing else that needs to be said about Magmar.
Lane had one in that cool episode of the anime. Does anyone else remember that, or am I old? You know?
Yeah. On to number 9, we have Ricky, who got this is another huge gap where you love this team, and I not glad. This is one of the teams I really, really did not like. So why don't you go into what
do you want to start with this one then?
Why don't you go about what you love about first?
So I was a big fan of this team, honestly. This is so funnily enough, I thought this was pretty similar to whose team is that? So let me just go through. I thought this was like pretty similar to Corey's, where it's very offensive and then has like the one big defensive piece who's like a little bit of a momentum sink, but still like provides solid value. Yeah, like that. It's kind of like, that's the thing, Jay. I feel like it's kind of, I like the offense here more, but I think Skarm, like, because Skarmory does, unlike Skeletor, like Skarmory does give a lot of momentum. So I think Skarmory could like maybe have been like reworked into something else. And I think just to like get my negatives out of the way, I'm not a huge fan of either Terra Captain. Like, you know, they're both like serviceable, you know, like I said, like anything with Levitate, et cetera, et cetera. But like, I don't know. I don't think either of them like gain that much here. Now, on to what I really liked about it, I think the offense here is just crazy. This is a really good Webs team. Like, Gouging and Manaphy, this is a phenomenal. Even Glamora, like you don't even have to bother with Rock Polish necessarily. Like, I think this is a really good Webs team. And again, it's like yeah, they make sense. I just don't think they're like the best like Terra Pokemon you could have got here, but they definitely serve a function. Like I see the vision here. I just think the offense is so good, but also like you have a backbone in your offense here, right? Like Incineroar is a perfect example. You can kind of tech that thing to like sort of take hits for long enough and like basically anything you want, and then you still get a lot of momentum out of it with parting shot, knock, and stuff like that. Gouging Fire can be tech defensively. Manaphy can do defensive things. Really good hazard game. You know, like Brambleghast isn't like the best Pokemon in the world, but it does a pretty good job like spin blocking. Like Tusk has like sort of a hard time getting past it. Not really if you predict knock, but you know, it resists ground in addition to being immune to fighting, which is kind of cool. I don't know, just I'm pretty here for it. Like I think Glamora is like very annoying. Wait, am I buffering again? Sorry,
I think I was echoing a bit, but that's all.
Gotcha. I think honestly, Toxic Debris I think is really nice here because with a team that's this offensive, like you kind of have to like, oh, perfect, thank you. You kind of have to be hitting stuff that comes in. Like you can't really give like Gouging Fire or Manaphy or like Valiant the opportunity to just like start setting up. Definitely does bend over to offensive waters. That's kind of one of the weaknesses of Manaphy. And then outside of that, you've got Bramble, who is not really a resist. So pretty here for this. I think I probably overrated this one a little bit, but I think just kind of thinking about what it can do, I just got kind of excited. Yeah, exactly. Like it's very fun. I stand by it being pretty high, to be honest with you. I'm here for this one. I just feel like you can get bowled over by this very quickly. So what did you think?
Oh, I mean, I don't know. There were a lot of things I really liked.
Yeah, agreed.
First thing is lack of speed.
Let's hear him.
Valiant is going to have to run booster every damn game, which is not a good situation to be in. Like it just
that really is extremely true. It's like very Webs.
And like if this was like Gen 7 and Manaphy had like Z Rain Dance, I think it will be much different, which is like what we played back in the day. But like your only real fast mod is Valiant, and what's a really good one. It also can only come in once if it is booster. In DD and Sarah, I don't get that. I don't get in DD here. What is it doing? I'm sorry, I don't understand it.
Indeed, I don't get it at all.
Like, is it to provide it so a gouging fire can't be revenged by priority, but it's so fat that it doesn't get revenged anyway? And then it also starts your own Valiant from vacuum aiming, which is kind of annoying. I don't know.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say something. Sorry to interrupt, but just
Yeah,
real quick to your point. Something I didn't account for enough was, other than Valiant, you have no priority, which I think on a team that's like lacking speed is not great. It's already not great.
Sneak Bramble, that's like
yeah, that's true. I always
pretty good.
That's a great point. I always undervalue Bramble a little too much.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Please.
No, you need to pause this discussion. Anyway, also the Terra captains are ass. I'm sorry. Glamora. Oh no, Vicable's not ass, but Terra Glamora is not good. It is not. I don't know what you are doing with that at all.
Probably the patch of potential.
But like Scissor has a terrible matchup into gouging fire anyway. Regibolt's pretty good here, I do admit that. But Scissor, like, you have a gouging fire in a Vicavolt and a Skarmory. Scissor's not doing shit here. Terra Vicvolt's okay. Like with Roost, it can be pretty annoying and bulky. I don't get the Glamora. I really wish he had Terra the Manaphy. And I don't think Terra Manaphy is amazing, but I think it would have been really helpful on this team. I don't know. I just think a lot of pieces don't really fit. Incineroar doesn't make that much sense to me here. Like, it's okay. Doesn't feel amazing on this build. I know obviously you want a dark type, and that's fair. He did really need a dark type, but I feel like there were better options for it. I don't know. Like, and also, the top 4 team just kind of falls off pretty hard.
Yeah, you kind of talked me into it. I think I definitely overrated it to a decent extent. I think it's more team, like
I admit that. Yeah.
Very fun. Yeah, I do think that it probably shouldn't be this dependent on Vicavolt.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Vicavolt Rock does would be awesome. Yeah.
Webs.
Yeah, that's and like that.
Webs are helpful here though. Gouging likes webs a lot, as does offensive Glamora and like in these. So it's a good for support, but also like when it's your Terra, you don't want to fit webs on it every time.
That like I think this is a very good like team to take advantage of webs, but I think I agree with what you're saying. Where like you don't want to be dependent on webs, especially when your ghost is like good but not like one of your top tiers.
That bulky, yeah. Bramble is really
fair. Yeah, I think Zane was right that it did. Kind of. I think Zane was right that it did kind of work out for the best. That this wound up like kind of in the middle of the pack.
I think there's definitely a team Ricky can pilot well, knowing him. I mean, God, look at this Valiant gouging Meteor Beam, like Rock Punch, Glamora, Manaphy. Like, this is a Ricky team, but also I never really liked a lot of Ricky's teams, so that's probably why. But yeah, I think it's fine. I thought it was one of the worst drafts in the division, but it can still function. Like, it's still decent. It's still workable.
Agreed with you there.
Let's move on to number 8. Then we have Joe, and this is an interesting one. This is a really interesting one.
This is an interesting one. I started the last one, so if you want to let me know what you thought of it.
Sure. So we both have him right in the middle. I really like this team. Terra Zarude is broken. I stand by that being one of the best Terramons on the board. I definitely think we underpriced it here. Even though I think it was like 21, I still think we underpriced it. But Terra Zarude is interesting. It's okay. I honestly don't think it was worth spending the points on that. Like 2 points or whatever we taxed it. Just because like Terra Zarude needs Terra so badly. Zarude needs Terra so badly that like you don't want an it's not worth taking another Terramon unless it really fits the team. I don't think Zera needs it here at all. But overall, like, really good team. I mean, I don't have much to say. Like, it's really compact. Every mon serves a purpose, even the stupid Porygon. I just really like it. Like, I don't have many comments. It's really good. I guess, one thing is, like, no spikes. Spikes would be really nice here, is one thing I will say.
I agree with that completely.
I think spikes
are broken. I would really like spikes here.
The other things, like, steals are kind of an issue in general. Like, steals just sit on this team. Like, you have, like, Flamethrower yourself, CC Zera, but CC Zera doesn't OHKO most steals. A lot of them get Earthquake, which smokes you after the drops. Like, steals, that's kind of my biggest issue. Steals are a fucking problem. And every team
dependent on,
Salt
like,
is going down
for steals. Yep, agreed.
But I know, other than that,
Um,
like, it's a really good team. Like, really good offense, solid defense. Like, I don't know what else you want.
yep, very, very much agreed on the steals problem. Biggest side
You're staticking again really badly.
to describe. It almost feels that very, very fiery, very, very fiery. Blastoise is like doing a lot here. I weird to describe. This almost feels to me a little. Oh wait, sorry, insane static. Can you hear me?
You're good. You're good now. You're good now.
Okay, I don't know why my audio keeps getting so bad like that.
Welcome back.
But I'm sounding clear now. Perfect, thank you. Thank you for that tag. Yeah, oh yeah. If that happens again, please just let us know and we'll pause to fix it. Really, almost feels. This is hard to describe. Almost feels a little like linear. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like it's so top heavy, like, and not just top heavy, but a lot of the lower things have like very, very defined roles. I feel like going against this, like, you probably kind of know what the team's gonna be, but I don't think that matters too much because like you just get bowled over very quickly by this. Um, Structural issues I think are a little bigger than I would have liked. I'm noticing some bigger type weaknesses here than are ideal. Like, I think this is like very weak to fire,
Oh yeah, for
which
sure.
is yeah.
And fire is
And
definitely
like
a
you
really
said, it
strong
has a lot of
defensive type.
problems with steals. But I think the core game plan here is just really, really solid. And good spinners for Kieran, which I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, I definitely think this team supports Kieran very well.
Yeah, agreed. I think you're gonna have to pilot this very. You can't really give up a lot of terms with this team
Yeah, you
because if
cannot
you
you
lose one
cannot
of your
afford to be
core
too
pieces, like
passive, but
yeah, well, if you lose one of your like core pieces, like out of the top three, four, I'd say, I don't like the bottom half, like not bad Mons, but I think most of them don't really have a way of like clawing their way back. But pretty good, I think. Pretty solid game plan here.
yeah, I really like it. It's very simple, but it seems very effective. Oh, it's like GPL mega announcement. I will read them. Oh, this one. Okay, this one is not getting revealed. Okay.
Number 7.
Yep. Give me 1 second.
Who drafts are my anyways?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what is
no
this?
one I can think of.
Oops. Is finding who drafts RY. We don't talk about last season when I drafted RY and dropped it after week 1. Yeah, that draft was so bad. Anyway, our number 7 is Gareth, who was another one we really differed on.
Number
I love this team and you really didn't, so I guess I'll start by going to what I love about it. Let me see 1 second.
Yes,
I
sir.
thought this team was insane, honestly. Terra Ogerpon is cracked, broken Pokemon. Iron Bundle, I think, pairs real well with it. It breaks down a lot of those primary grass diseases, as does Iron Treads. And Varium's kind of fallen off this gen, I fully admit, but I feel like the top 4 work really well in tandem. Like, I do admit, this team is very offensive. Like, it does not have much long-term viability outside like Painsplit, Overquote, and Rotom. But I actually really like Silvally in here. I think it fits the team really well. I really like the removal for Bundle to get in repeatedly. Hazards are pretty solid. Like, I just think this team is really good. I don't see any issues. I guess like the speed drop is a little annoying, but like there's not that much in that range that's really that scary. There's a few things, but it's pretty. I don't think the Dusclops team. I feel like definitely could have done something better than that, but all the mons are solid. Terra Rotom Fan is neat. I think it looks. I think it's pretty decent.
Ooh, wait, real quick. Can anyone else? Is JStream lagging? Can anyone else not see the stream?
Yeah, can anyone else not see the Acorn? It's just you, Jay.
Okay.
Also, Joe, welcome.
Okay, Jay. It looks like.
Welcome, Joe.
Welcome, Joe.
Yeah, so
Okay, Jay. It looks like you're just lagging. I'm sorry.
yeah, sorry about that, man. But yeah, I just really like the team. I think
Thank you, everyone.
I think every mon is viable. I really do. I don't think there were any like really wasted points here. I think maybe it's a little underwhelming somewhere else. They're like outside the top 2, there isn't like say gigantic threat, but the top 2 are really gigantic threats. And Team just is such a synergy. I think it'll work really well despite that. That's generally how I feel about it.
Funnily enough, in spite of putting it in 14th, I actually pretty much agree with everything you said. I think was the biggest victim for me of just like it's good. I just liked everything. I put above it. I put above it more.
That's fair.
I look at this team and like it's good. I just feel like a little bit like underwhelmed. I feel like this is another kind of fake bulk team. Like everything here is like kind of scrapping by based on like typing and utility, but the actual bulk isn't really there, which is fine. Except I think this is kind of a lot of cleaners without a lot of wall breaking. Ogrepon is an amazing. Terra Ogrepon is amazing. Don't get me wrong. Um, and Bundle is like very good too. But I find that neither of them Bundle because of the stats and like and missing and Ogrepon because of like only getting stab on grass. They just I feel like they struggle to really like smash a lot of walls. You know what I mean? Like I think for me, if this team had like one really good wall breaker, I think it would have been a lot higher for me. But I feel like it's missing a little bit of that like fundamental breaking power for me.
I can
But it
see
is
that. Yeah.
good. I think webs don't feel like the most necessary here, except that I like it with Defiant quite a bit. So I don't think I actually don't really think that's a problem. Also, I think Araquanid is just a good Pokemon.
Wait,
People
what?
still
Oh yeah.
kind of, I think people, I think people still kind of put off Araquanid as like just kind of like Rabombe, like another one of those like 90% webs month. But I think Araquanid is honestly just pretty good. Yeah, it is. I will say though, in spite of how good Araquanid is, yeah, pretty secondary to the big water here, which is Bundle. But I like both of them a lot. Like I think they both fit in here really well. I like the hazard removal here a lot.
What? One second.
Even on yeah, that's good. I
What the
think
heck just happened? What the heck
text
just
just
happened
popped
to the
up.
stream? Let me see what the heck just happened. Why can I not? What the? Okay. I will be. We're gonna be back in 1 second. I don't know what happened with the stream. Give me a moment, and we're just gonna have
Hold tight,
to.
everyone.
Oh, we're just gonna have to upload these two separate videos. Kind of annoying, but it's fine.